I bring you a message. A message few of you will be able to believe. A message of great importance. A message I alone was able to read in the fires of the universe. But be not afraid, my friends. I also bring you the means with which to save yourselves.
Save us from what?
From the end of the world, friend. Which I don't expect you to believe.
Tell me something. What's going on in this town anyway? Did your mayor die or what?
World's coming to an end.
How's that?
Midnight tonight, the whole caboodle's gonna burn up.
Oh. Where'd you get that?
Fellow back there.
For the one with the hat on?
Mm-mm. Other one.
He says the world is going to come to an end?
Midnight tonight.
Where's he from?
Drove in this morning. Wagon out front.
Mm-hmm. Got a name?
Trump.
I bet it fits. Yeah, I heard. Your name is Trump?
Dr. Walter Trump. I am the only one. Just me. I can build a wall around your homes that nothing will penetrate.
What do we do? How do we save ourselves?
You ask, how do you build that wall? You ask, and I'm here to tell you.
Please note that Einstein's clock is in precise synchronization with my control watch. Got it?
Right, check them.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
This is what you were supposed to look like. They predicted you'd look like at 47 years old. And I have to say, they had you like a young Donald Trump. It looked like it's...
It does kind of look like Donald Trump.
Yeah, it does. There is a Donald Trumpiness to it.
Huge!
It was a sting operation. I was setting him up. Read my facts.
No! Please, no, I cannot be fired. I'm fired. Ah!
Watch where you're going. Freeze. Drunk pedestrian. Back.
Hi, this is Daniel Clamp. You know, no visit to New York is complete without a tour of the world's most fully automated office building. My Clamp Premier Regency Trade Center and Retail Concourse, headquarters of Clamp Enterprises and home of CCN, Clamp Cable Network Television.
The death of Mr. Wing removes the last obstacle to developer Daniel Clamp's long-delayed Chinatown project. This quaint little shop, which once housed many rare objects from the Orient, must now make way for the future, Daniel Clamp style.
The Clamp Premier Regency Office Center, where one man's dream became a reality. I hope you enjoyed today's tour, and don't forget, pick up your copy of Mr. Clamp's best-selling book, I Took Manhattan, on sale right here at our newsstand for only $19.95.
Hey, that's Clamp. Let's go.
Mr. Clamp, is it true the building's been evacuated?
Sir, is the building on fire? No, that's a false alarm. We've just got some, problems.
Problems? You got a guy in there in a Dracula costume broadcasting stuff with little green monsters. Are you trying to panic New York City?
Absolutely not.
So the monsters are real?
I didn't say that.
Then when are you saying?
Just what I always say, Mike.
minutes. The volume calls in here has tripled. What the hell is going on?
Stop. Let me explain. For the rest of the day, we're supposed to handle the department's communication.
What do you mean, handle?
They're shutting down the police van. All calls will be coming through this switchboard.
And I'm gonna marry Donald Trump.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Well, remember when the last administration decided to invest in our nation's children? Big mistake.
The Balanced Breakfast program just created a generation of ultra-strong super criminals.
And midnight basketball taught them to function without sleep.
What about my pledge to build the world's largest bookmobile? Isn't there any money left for that?
No, and we borrowed from every country in the world.
"28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds. That is when the world will end."
I want to bring to the presidency and to the White House beginning in January of 1989. Panama is a friendly country.
So what do you think of my Trump Home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to Room 9.
Looking good, number 9, looking good.
Where's your dignity?
Save now on this Trump Home Luxury Suites mattress during the Serta Luxury Suite Savings Event, now through Labor Day.
Ah, here it is. Instructions to fit in, have everybody like you, and always be happy. Step 1, breathe. Okay, got that one down. Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, "Good morning, Sam." Step 3, exercise. Jumping jacks, hit 'em. 1, 2, 3. I am so pumped up. Step 4, shower. And always be sure to keep the soap out of your shave your face, comb your hair. Wear clothes. Almost forgot that one. No, not that. Wrong. And that's it, check. Step 9, eat a complete breakfast with all the special people in your life. Hey, Planty, what do you want to do this morning? Watch TV? Me too!
Hi, I'm President Business, President of the Octad Corporation. Damn the world. Let's take extra care to follow the instructions or you'll be put to sleep. And don't forget Taco Tuesday's coming next week. That's the day every rule-following citizen gets a free taco and my love! Have a great day, everybody.
You have a great day too, President Business. Man, he's such a cool guy. I always want to hear more of what... Wait, did he say put to sleep?
Okay, all the people of the universe were once free to travel and mingle and build whatever they wanted. But President Business was confused by all the chaos. So he erected walls between the worlds and became obsessed with order and perfection. And he stole a mysterious secret super weapon called the Crackle! And he hired Bad Cop to hunt down all the master builders who were always changing everything. And those of us who remained, well, we went in hiding, built the tunnels to survive.
It means I don't believe you. Why else would you show up with that thing on your back just 3 days before President Business is going to use the Crackle to end the world?
And this is Donald Trump, 33 years old, and some people think that he wants to buy the World Trade Center, the 110-story Manhattan skyscraper that anyone can pick up if they've got the coins.
Hey, that's Clamp. Let's go.
Mr. Clamp, is it true the building's been evacuated?
Sir, is the building on fire? No, that's a false alarm. We've just got some problems.
Trump has said, quite seriously, that he's a good enough bargainer to negotiate a nuclear disarmament treaty with the Russians.
I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terrorist attacks that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like kids playing with firecrackers.
Donald Trump is on the line. I mean, we know him as the man behind lots of real estate in Manhattan. And of course, Donald, I understand you were actually a witness to what happened this morning.
Well, I have a window that looks directly at the World Trade Center, and I saw this huge explosion. I was with a group of people, and I really couldn't even believe it. I mean, you look at Larry Silverstein, who's a terrific owner in New York, and a very good friend of mine who I just called. I was very worried about him, because I assumed maybe he was in the building. He took possession of the building 1 week ago.
How much money has been lost in the attack?
I would say $15 to $20 billion. You're talking billions and billions of dollars, and it's irreparable. But I really feel that the location is such and the importance of the monument is such that we have to rebuild. And again, not necessarily in the form of the two towers, but something has to be done that's very big and very majestic.
We went after Iraq. They did not knock down the World Trade Center, okay? It wasn't the Iraqis that knocked down the World Trade Center. We went after Iraq. We decimated the country. Iran's taken over, okay. But it wasn't the Iraqis. You will find out who really knocked down the World Trade Center because they have papers in there that are very secret. You may find it's the Saudis, okay? But you will find out.
Hey Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today's May 19th, May 23rd, just days away. a date I've been talking a lot about, telling people to keep an eye on. A few days ago, a fellow subscriber sent me an email, and he said, "Hey, Zach, you better check out this card in the Illuminati card game. If you're not aware of this card game, it came out in the summer of 1982, and it has a number of cards that seem to have predicted real-life tragedies, from September 11th to the Gulf oil spill to the outlaw biker shooting in Waco, Texas, and more. This card on the screen that you're looking at is from that same game from 1982. The card is called Hit and Run. And what stands out about this card is what's on the license plate and also what the card is about. Notice the number sequence 235. The date, May 23rd, can be written 23/5, just like that number sequence. Also, 666 is interesting. 666 is a number connected to prophecy. On my channel, I am routinely explaining that the Masons and the Jews who rule over this nation, who control the media, and so much more, they are scripting history. They are scripting news stories according to the book of prophecy, the final book of the Bible, Revelation. It is my belief that once upon a time, this same gang of Masons and Jews who've been with the earth for thousands of years wrote the book of Revelation, and they have used it as a form of control over the masses ever since. Just think about what Revelation teaches people, that we're living in the end times, the world could end any day, you might as well just pray to Jesus and ignore all the wrongdoing around you. You can see why this gang would create this type of mentality in the public who they rule over. This way of thinking is what makes the masses so easily ruled over. I know this as someone who's been speaking out truth to power for a long time by all the Christians who've confronted me and said, this isn't even worth it. The only thing you can do is pray to Jesus, get on your knees, and wait for his return. So anyway, look at this car. The car in the card, it has a resemblance to a taxi cab. In February of this year, there was supposedly a shooting in Kalamazoo, Michigan, an Uber driver. Uber, this new taxi service. The story, the reporting in all mainstream outlets let everybody know that this Uber driver, his final cab fare on the date of the massacre was $5.23. And right away, people should ask themselves, why are all the news sources reporting this piece of information as if it means anything? Less than a week later, there was a shooting in Heston, Kansas, and they said the police responded at 5:23 p.m. and shot the shooter. So 2 stories, 2 shootings within a week, 5:23 put into the story. Kalamazoo, Michigan is also where Checker Cab, the taxi company, made their cabs for a long period of time. The movie Taxi Driver, starring Robert De Niro, he drives a Checker Cab, and Robert De Niro's character is based on a real-life person named Arthur Bremer, who was arrested in Kalamazoo, Michigan by the Secret Service, released, and then 2 days later shot George Wallace in 1972, who was campaigning for president. That was 44 years ago. 44 is a number very much connected to death and assassination. Right now, Obama is the 44th president, but only the 43rd person to be president because Grover Cleveland counted as number 22 and number 24, meaning the count has been off ever since. Right now, the people running to be president are running to become the 44th person to be president. They'll be the 45th president, but 44th person. One of those people is Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is being compared to George Wallace, who was shot 44 years ago for being a bigot. Show you something real quick about 44 and 144 and political assassinations. When you write out 44, it sums to 144. When you write out April 4th, the date that's 4-4, it sums to 144. May 23rd will be the 144th day of the year this year. All throughout history, this number is connected to death. The first president to die in office died on April 4th. So did Martin Luther King Jr. JFK, the last president to die in office, was the 35th president. The word Catholic equals 35. He's the only Catholic president, but he was also the 44th term president. JFK would die on the first day of Sagittarius. Sagittarius equals 144. His brother Bobby Kennedy would die at 1:44 in the morning by the numbers. These numbers extend to so many political assassinations in history. Malcolm X, leaders in other nations, the Vatican, and more. So redundant with these numbers 44 and 144. The word kill itself equals 44. So, here's this card again. It seems to connect to the date of May 23rd, and the card is about assassination. It reads, assassination. This is an instant attack to destroy any personality at any time. It does not require an action. In the movie Taxi Driver, Robert De Niro's character is plotting to assassinate the man running for president. Again, it's based on Arthur Bremer, who shot George Wallace. Think about these parallels. Jodie Foster, that's her first movie. Right now, Jodie Foster just directed her first movie, Money Monster. Jodie Foster in history is also connected to the last assassination attempt on a president, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan's assassin said he did it to impress Jodie Foster. So many angles here, so many parallels. This number 666, the number connecting to prophecy, it also has a relationship with 144. The number pi, having to do with cycles and circles that you learned about in gematria, or not gematria, in geometry. If you add the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666. The phrase mark of the beast sums to 144. That's a shorthand way of saying 666. So these numbers have relationships, 144 and 666. May 23rd, the 144th day of the year in a leap year, 666, a relationship. The card being called Hit and Run, this is interesting because Hit and Run has gematria 46. In the King James Version of the Bible, Psalm 46, it has a special tribute to 666. There are 666 chapters that follow Psalm 46. Also, Psalm 46 is said to have a connection to Shakespeare. The 46th word of Psalm 46 is shake from the beginning. From the end of Psalm 46, counting backwards, the 46th word is spear, Shakespeare. It's said that Francis Bacon wrote the King James Version of the Bible, a Freemason. It's also said that Francis Bacon was Shakespeare, something entirely possible. So 46, hit and run, connected to the car, has a relationship with 666. It also has a connection to Donald Trump. Trump was born in 46. There was recently a tombstone placed in Central Park having to do with Donald Trump. It had his name in the year 46. It was placed on the date March 27th, 16, a date with 46 numerology. The word sacrifice also equals 46, special number. It was placed there on March 27th, which is typically the 87th day of the year. It was Easter Sunday. Sometimes an Easter egg is a way of expressing like a hint, a clue. Because this year was a leap year, it was also the 88th day of the year. The word Trump equals 88. The Trump tombstone found on the 88th day of 2016. If you look at Wikipedia right now and you look up May 23rd, last year in 2015, the flooding in Texas and Oklahoma supposedly killed 46 people. Oftentimes, the reporting in tragedies is just made up bullshit, contrived numbers, numbers of significance. Texas and Oklahoma and gematria, when you sum them together, sum to 46. This card here, with the 46 coding hit and run, I want you to think about something too in light of this world you live in. Let's read the language again. Assassination, This is an instant attack to destroy any personality at any time. Those words, what they remind me of is President Nixon. That's who went on to win the election in '72, the year George Wallace was shot. Nixon said, the only thing that matters to the American people is what's on TV. Nothing else matters. And sadly, that is true for so many people. Think about what has been done with Donald Trump in the last year in the mainstream media. He has literally been on TV 24/7, 365, all major news channels from May of 2015 up until the present. And the constant coverage of him has built up a massive group of supporters. There are a lot of people in this nation who let the TV do their thinking for them, and they are now invested in Donald Trump. And these same people, if tomorrow on the news they wanted to destroy Donald Trump, they could do it in an instant. All they would need to do is start running new polling numbers, say he's polling in the teens. They could make, a collage of all the idiotic remarks he said in the last year, blaming raping on Hispanics, making fun of the handicapped, saying that the economy's no big deal. All he would ever need to do if there was a problem is print more money. The guy has just made moronic statement after moronic statement. And the Masons, the Jews who run the media, they are using Donald Trump as an ongoing joke, laughing at the masses, the gullible sheep who they govern over. Anyhow, as this card says, instant attack, destroy the personality at once. The media has all the capability in the world to do that for Donald Trump. On the flip side, they can do that to anybody else. And they can even make Donald Trump the president if that's what their plan is. I don't think that's what their plan is. I think this is all part of a running joke, a spectacle, a narrative connected to the current fraud President Obama. Think about how at the beginning of Obama's term, Donald Trump started the whole birther argument, and now for the final year of Obama's presidency, it's been nothing but Donald Trump. Donald Trump and Obama, they've been very much connected all this time. The word birther has gematria 44. Obama 44th president, Trump running to be the 44th person to be president. So also in that regard, something that I pointed out back when I made the original videos, there might just be something huge planned for the upcoming election for May 23rd. I did a recent video on how Budweiser's changing their beer can to say America on May 23rd, and they're going to run it that way through the election. There's also this other card in the Illuminati card deck. Enough is enough, the card is called. Some people are saying this face looks a lot like Donald Trump's face. And I got to admit, it really does. It's amazing. Enough is enough. Donald Trump became famous in 1984, 2 years after this card game came out. It'll be 33 years from '84 in 2017. George W. Bush once graduated from Yale in Skull and Bones, became president 33 years later. The same year Bush graduated from Yale in Skull and Bones, 911 made the national emergency dialing code, World Trade Center construction began. Think about 33 years later, Bush president, 9/11. Think about it. It's the Freemasons who obsess over the number 33 that are responsible for this. This card says, at any time, at any place, our snipers can drop you. Have a nice day. So another card having to do with assassination. Enough is enough has gematria of 87. That stands out to me because Clinton equals 87. The Clintons way bigger than Hillary Clinton. The Clintons go back to the original governors of New York, the fourth vice president, powerful political family. If you've never seen my work on Bill Clinton, who was born Bill Blythe, and how he took on the name Clinton, please check that out. The name Clinton, the small way is 33, the big way 87. Bill Clinton's biological father murdered on a date with 33 and 87 numerology. Enough is enough also has gematria of 168 connected to New York City. Think about Donald Trump's connections to New York City, the Clintons, the movie Taxi Driver set in New York. Something's up, you know? So Hit and Run, if you've never heard of this Illuminati card game, check it out. Things have been predicted before, as stated in the beginning. Okay, so here's another card from the game, Cycle Gangs. Last year, there was the Waco Biker Shootout, which seemed to be, in part, a tribute to the Waco siege of 1993. The card's called Cycle Gangs. Cycle Gangs has gematria 42, just like Waco, where it transpired, with the S exception 51. The word conspiracy equals 51. Freemason equals 42 and 51. The Waco siege lasted 51 days. The first word on there used, hordes, a purposeful word. Hordes has gematria of 33 and 42. Again, this game was turning 33 years old at the time. They said at the shootout, the ATF and the FBI were staking it out. And remember, those bikers, they were all in very clean uniforms. They looked like they were brand new. I actually had somebody reach out to me and talk to me on the phone that said that they were in the gang and they were not happy that I was spreading the information that they were undercover cops. But I'm pretty sure that person I talked to on the phone was part of this agenda, maybe even a member of the police, and not happy about me exposing the truth. This happened on May 17th last year, which is the 137th day of the year. The number 137 is the 33rd prime number. Prime numbers are divisible by 1 in themselves. The only number that goes into 137 is 1 in 137. So it's the 33rd prime number. Keep in mind the word federal equals 33. The federal government was staking out in Waco. Go figure. Washington, D.C. itself has gematria of 137. So does the word authority. So does American Meridian. Washington, D.C. is on the American Meridian. 137, the 33rd prime, the headquarters of the federal government. You know, it would have been hard to look at this card and go, oh, there's going to be a May 17th Waco biker shootout. But after it happened, looking at the card, looking at the parallels in light of history, you know, there's some clear parallels. And also keep in mind that story, it wasn't it's not really that relevant of a story culturally. They're making a big deal about it now that we're at the 1-year anniversary, but it really wasn't that big of a story, you know. Biker shootout, feds bust. The reason they give us this propaganda is just to remind us, you know, we need Big Brother to protect us from boogeymen, such as outlaw bikers. It's just all part of ongoing conditioning propaganda so that we, the people, give up our rights, give up our liberties, to be spied on, to be surveyed by the tyrants who rule over us, who want nothing more from us than to exploit our labor, exploit the wealth we create. We are guinea pigs, truly, you know, in this nation. We are treated as guinea pigs on the daily. We're also given, you know, TV screens and things to distract us so that our reality doesn't bum us out too much. But this game, it has a history of coding, significant coding that syncs up with real-life events. It's more than 9/11, the Waco shooting. There's a lot of it. Just trying to give you a taste of this and also have you think about, should anything happen on May 23rd in just a few days, remember this. And at the same time, if nothing happens May 23rd, we might be ahead of ourselves. These Masons, these Jews, they drop their riddles sometimes way in advance of their actual plans. But that said, we're at a crucial moment in history. A lot lines up. Should anything go down May 23rd this year, you know where it was foretold. Also interesting, Donald Trump and Megyn Kelly, part of this ongoing feud that goes back to the first Republican debate, part of this man versus woman narrative. Back then I was saying it's all about Trump and Hillary, what's coming. They were supposed to do an interview on May 23rd, but for whatever reason they pushed it to May 17th. This was the headline, Kelly to Trump, let's talk about us. You know, here's a tabloid story, information people don't need to know. Anytime the media emphasizes a phrase, there's coded gematria there. Let's talk about us equals 199, which is the 46th prime number. Talked about how significant 46 was. Let's talk about us the small way also has gematria of 46. This story happened on May 17th, which is typically the 137th day of the year. Because it's a leap year, though, it was the 138th day of the year. The name Donald Trump equals 138. Here's Donald Trump talking about his woman issues with Megyn Kelly on the 138th day. What's interesting about them pushing it up to May 17th is this right here. From May 17th this year to the date of the election, November 8th, is a span of 5 months and 23 days. The interview was originally supposed to be on May 23rd. The date they pushed it to has a 5/23 connection connecting to the election. And again, I just did that recent video on Budweiser changing their can to America on May 23rd that they're going to run through the election. So for all of you who come here and say, if nothing happens, I'm going to come here and talk all this shit, here's my final words for you. If that's your attitude, you are a fucking retard. My work is about getting ahead of the powers that be. Predicting things, it's not an exact science, but if you go through my work and all the time I've invested, it's completely undeniable that this is how the powers that be work. And I am trying to shut down their plans. I'm trying to spread how they do their wrongdoing to the masses. And I'm trying to get ahead of the curve.